Very good evening. See here, in the previous session, we discussed about what is the purpose of C language. C language purpose we discussed. So, what is C? C is a language. It is a programming language. C is a programming language. So any programming language purpose is developing the software. So the C language purpose is developing the software. Using this C language, we can develop both system software and application software. Using C language, we can develop both system software as well as application software. For example, UNIX operating system software developed in C only. And Windows operating system developed in C only. So with this, we can understand that using C language, we can develop system software. And the application softwares like Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Photoshop. Get these application softwares developed in C only. So the purpose of C language is developing the software. Some programming languages are suitable to develop system software only. Some programming languages are suitable to develop application software only. But using C language, we can develop both system software and application software. So you take any programming language purpose is developing the software. Some programming languages are suitable to develop system software. Some programming languages are suitable to develop application software. Some programming languages are suitable to develop both. So using C language, we can develop system software as well as application software. How can you say Unix, Windows system softwares developed in C only? This Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Photoshop, Maya, Winamp softwares, application softwares developed in C only. So these things we discussed in the previous session. Now, see here. So topic name is structure of C program. What is the structure of C program? We have to learn. See here. So C language is a procedure-oriented programming language. So this C is a procedure-oriented programming language. So C is a procedure-oriented programming language. So what is the meaning of it, sir? What is procedure-oriented language? So procedure-oriented language means it is one programming style. So this procedure-oriented is one programming style. Procedure-oriented programming is one programming style. Is a programming style. So this is called one programming style. Or you can say programming approach. Approach means style. So in procedure-oriented style, we write program in the form of functions. So our entire course revolves around this term, functions. This is very, very important. We write C program in the form of functions. So if we write program in the form of functions, that style is called procedure-oriented programming. So this is one programming style. So what is procedure-oriented programming means? This is one programming style. So in procedure-oriented style, we write program in the form of functions. So C program, we write in the form of functions. See, there are different programming styles out there, or you can say programming approaches. Approach means style. So approach means style. Programming approach means programming style. So programming approach means programming style. See, there are different programming styles out there. See, whenever I'm explaining, some points you may understand, some points you may not understand because you are new to the programming. So with continuous reference, when the classes goes on, you will understand every point clearly. So whenever we are learning for first time, immediately we will not understand 100% perfectly. To understand this structure of C program, at least half of the course should be finished. Then you will get clarity on this. In one session only, in the beginning only, you cannot get 100% grip on this topic. So whenever I'm explaining, some points you may understand, some points you may not understand. If you don't understand, don't bother. So just try to understand. So, see, programming approach means programming style. There are different programming styles out there. The famous programming styles are. So, one is two famous programming styles are there. Two famous programming approaches are there. Those are. First one is procedure oriented. Second one is object oriented. So these two are the famous programming styles. So there are different programming styles out there. Among those, the famous programming styles are procedure oriented and object oriented. Now you are learning C language. The C language follows procedure oriented style. Okay, Java program follows object oriented style. So C program we write in which style? Procedure oriented style. Java program we write in which style? Object oriented style. So these are just programming styles. So for example, if you take the products, like laptop is the product. In the laptop, different styles are there. Different models are there. For example, one laptop is having touch screen. One laptop is having touch screen. This is one style. There is one laptop is there without touch screen. This is another style. So these are the styles in the laptops. Like that, if you take shirts, in the shirts, formal shirts are there. That is one style. Casual shirts are there, another style. This is also shirt only, but casual shirt. Okay, T-shirt, another style. Okay, full sleeves T-shirt, another style. So these are the styles in the shirts. If you take shoe, in the shoe, formal shoe, sports shoe, sneakers, loafers, these are the styles. Just like in the shoe, different styles are there. In the shirts, different styles are there. In the products, in the laptop, different styles are there. In the monitors, different styles are there. LCD monitors, LED monitors, CRT monitors. Like that, in the programming also, different styles are there. So in the programming, different styles are there. Some programming languages follow procedure-oriented style. Some programming languages follow object-oriented style. Some programming languages follow both also. For example, if you take Python program, you can write in both styles. If you take C++ program also, we can write in both styles. This Python program, C++ program, we can write in procedure-oriented style as well as object-oriented style. Whereas C program, we can write in only procedure-oriented style. Java program, we can write in only object-oriented style. So what is this procedure-oriented style, sir? Procedure-oriented approach means we write program in the form of functions. So if we write program in the form of functions, that style is called procedure-oriented style. Then what is object-oriented style, sir? Object-oriented style means we write program in the form of classes and objects. So these are the different programming styles. Okay, see. And don't ask what is class, what is object. Don't ask like that. Okay, so you learn in the programming, in the continuous process of learning, you will learn those things. Just understand that there are different programming styles out there. So one is procedure-oriented style and another one is object-oriented style. Procedure-oriented style means it will be in the form of functions. Object-oriented style means it will be in the form of classes and objects. Observe here. Let me show this. See, I'm showing one C program here. Observe. I'm showing one C program. See here. This is one C program. In this, Max is there. Observe here, this max is called a function. Our entire C course revolves around this term function. This is very, very important. So here, this max is called a function. This is one function. So to find maximum value in two numbers, we have written some code. This is another function. This function name is min. Okay, so like that, below another function is there. This is power function. Power function. And below another function is there, fact function. Okay, after that, we are defining one more function, main function. From the main function, we call other functions. So this style here, main is a function, fact is a function, okay, power is a function, okay, min, max are functions. So this is the program. This entire one is the program. This program is in the form of functions. Observe. If the program is in the form of functions, we call this as which style? We call this as which style? Procedure oriented style. Procedure oriented style means functions will be there. This max is function 1. Okay, min is function 2. Okay, power is function 3. Okay, so below of that, function 4 is their fact. Next, main is their function 5. We are writing code in the form of functions. So if we write a program in the form of functions, that style is called a procedure oriented style. So in procedure oriented style, observe here, in every function, we write some statements. This is one function. This is one function. And this is another function. This is another function. This is another function. Like this, we write the code in the form of functions. So here, this box is function 1. This box is function 1. And this box, second box is function 2. Second box is function 2. And third box is function 3. So we are writing one program in the form of functions here. Sorry, just a minute, please wait. So this is function number 3. Function 3. So this entire one we are calling as a program. This is one program. So in the program, function is there. In the function, we are writing some code. In the function, we are writing some code. Some code we are writing inside of the function. So this is entire program. This is the program. So in this program, we are dividing that entire program into small parts. Every part I am calling as what here? Function. So this is function 1, function 2, function 3. So if we write program in the form of functions, that style we are calling as the procedure oriented. We are learning C language. C language follows which style? Procedure oriented. Next, second style, object oriented style. Object oriented style means I'm showing one Java program. Just observe. See here. Understand. Here, this is called a class. This is called a class. Class student. So this is one class. So till here, this is one class. This class name is student. Next, another class is there. Class marks. This is the class. Next, another class is there, class result, like this. Okay, next another class is there. So this is main method. So inside of this last class main method is there. In that we are creating the objects. With the help of objects, we call methods. So this program is in the form of classes and objects. So this is one class. Okay, this is another class, class result. This is another class, class marks. This is another class, class student. This program is in the form of classes. This style we are calling as the object-oriented style. Object-oriented style means definitely that program will be in the form of classes. Okay. For example, see, this is class 1. This is class 1. Instead of that, we define some properties and methods. Coding we write. This is class 1. So like this. So like class 1, this is class 2. And this is class 3. So we are writing these classes in a program. So this one is class 1. This one is class 1. So like this. This one is class 2. And this one is class 3. Class 2 and class 3. Okay. So understand that a program can be written in different styles. So the famous programming styles are, two famous programming styles are there. One is procedure oriented, another one is object oriented. So procedure oriented means we write in the form of functions. So C program we write in the form of functions. So C we are calling as the procedure oriented programming language. So function 1, function 2, function 3, like this n number of functions we write in a program. Object oriented programming style means we write in the form of classes and objects. So Java follows procedure oriented style. Sorry, Java follows object oriented style. So we write in the form of classes, class 1, class 2, class 3, like this. So here, this is the Java program. It is in the form of classes. Okay, and this one is the C program. This is in the form of functions. So finally, the conclusion is write program in the form of functions. That style is called procedure oriented style. If we write program in the form of classes, that is called object oriented style. So this procedure oriented style is having some drawbacks. Some security problems are there and less reusability is there. To avoid those drawbacks, they introduced this object oriented style. Here more security will be there, more reusability will be there. So slowly you learn those things. Don't bother. Just understand that we can write program in different styles. If we write in the form of functions, that style we call as procedure oriented style. If we write program in the form of classes, that style is called object oriented style. C program we write in the form of functions. So C follows procedure oriented style. Java program we write in the form of classes. So Java follows object oriented style. So we are learning C. So our C language is the procedure oriented programming language. So procedure oriented programming means it is one programming style. So in this style, we write program in the form of functions. So we write C program in the form of functions. We write C program in the form of functions. So C language follows procedure-oriented style. So we write C program in the form of functions. So observe the structure of C program. Observe here, below I'm writing. See. Function 1. Starting point of function, ending point of function. So in every function, we write some statements. In every function, we write some statements. So we write some statements means we write some code, we write logic. So every line I'm calling as the statement here. So just like in the English language, you're calling every line as the sentence. So C is a programming language sentence. Procedure-oriented programming is a programming style sentence. So just like in the English language, you're calling sentence. In our programming, we call every line as the statement. Okay, so this is the statement. Okay, this is the statement. The line which is ending with semicolon. So this every line we are calling as the statement. In the English language, okay, welcome to Naresh IT sentence. After sentence ending, you are writing dot. Okay, so in the same way here, after statement ending, so at statement ending, we write semicolon. In English language, just like you are writing dot. In every statement ending, you are writing dot. Like that. Here, in every statement ending, we write semicolon. Statement means you can understand like one sentence in the language. Okay, so this is one statement. This is one statement. This is one statement. Here, what is fact, sir? Fact is the function. What is fact? Fact is a function. In the function, what we are writing, sir? This is a statement. This is the statement. This is the statement. So in the function, what we are writing? Statements we are writing. So every function is a set of statements. Okay, so this is a function. This function name is power. This is a function. Power is a function. In the function, every line we are calling as the statement. So this is one statement. This is another statement. This is another statement. So inside of function, what we are writing? Statements we are writing. So every function is a set of statements. So like this, n number of functions you can define. So function 1, inside of function, we write statements. So like this, n number of functions you can define, no limit is there. Function 2, function 3, like this, n number of functions we can define. And finally, after defining all functions, finally, we define one more function. That function name is main. So main, opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. So function means we must write this symbol. This symbol is there means that is the function. This symbol is not there means that is not function. For example, in the C program, I'm writing X here. This is called variable. In the C program, I'm writing X opening parenthesis. This is called function. So C program contains these things only. So here X is the variable. Here X is the function. So to differentiate variable and function, we use this opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. If opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis are not there, compiler understands that is a variable. So to differentiate variable and function, function means we must use opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. This is mandatory in C or Java. So main, opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis, starting point of main, ending point of main. So from the main, call other functions. Call other functions. That's it. So this is the structure of C program. C is the procedure-oriented programming language. We write program in the form of functions. Function 1, function 2, function 3, like this. N number of functions we define. Finally, we define one more function, main function. From the main function, call all other functions. And sometimes, above this, we write preprocessor directives. Preprocessor directives we may write. Sometimes we may declare the variables here. So we declare global variables. Global variables we may declare. So global variables we may declare here. And sometimes, so global variable declaration will be there. Sometimes we may declare the functions. Function declaration may be there. Later, everything you learn. One by one, everything you learn. As of now, understand that C program means we write in the form of functions. And one more point. To develop a C program, minimum one function is required. To develop a C program, minimum one function is required. What is that one function, sir? Main. So to develop a C program, minimum one function is required. That one function is what? Main. Okay. So to understand this complete structure of C program, at least half of the course should be finished. After completion of functions chapter, you will get 100% clarity on this. So in the beginning only, you cannot understand completely. So this is the structure of a C program. So C program, we write in the form of functions. And see, to define a function, we have to follow one syntax. So here, okay, C program, we write in the form of functions. Okay. So we're writing in the form of functions. To define this function, we have to follow one syntax. Generally, we will not write like this. So for our understanding purpose, I have written function 1, function 2 like this. So to define this function 1, we have to follow some syntax. What is that syntax to define a function? I'm telling. So just I'm providing the syntax. Some points you may not understand here. Don't bother. So see, every function, observe here. I'm showing one function for your understanding purpose. I'm showing this function. Observe. Fact function I'm showing. So in this function, observe, this is the code to find factorial of a number. In this, here fact is there. Observe here, fact. This fact is called function name. This fact is called what? Function name. And in this, here this n is called argument. N is called argument. Okay, so these we are calling as the statements. You already know. Every function is having some statements. And this int is called return type. Which type of value that function is returning? The return type we write. Okay, so this syntax we have to follow to define the function. Okay, so to define the function, we must follow some syntax. The syntax is write function name here. Fact is the function name. N is the argument. Not only one argument, many arguments also we can define. If you take this power, here many arguments are there. To find power value, number is required, power is required. To find power value, if you want to find 2 cube, 2 is the number, 3 is the power. So based on our requirement, we take the arguments. Okay, so here NP are the arguments. So here in this example, XY are the arguments. In this example, N is the argument. So you can take 1 argument or 3 arguments or 4 arguments. Okay, any number of arguments you can take. So the point to understand here is, what is this fact here? Function name. What is fact here? Fact is the function name. What is N here? What is this one is called what? Argument. This one is called argument. N is the argument. Okay, what is this int here? Int is the return type. Int is the return type. Okay, and this we are calling as the statements. Instead of function, we are writing statements. This syntax we have to follow to define a function. So by following that syntax, we define this function 1, function 2, function 3, etc. So the syntax to define a function is, we write function name here. Function name we write. Okay. And we must write this opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis for function. And here we specify argument list. Argument list we specify. And specifying argument list is optional. To indicate optional, we use square braces. Square braces we use. This is the starting point of function. This is the ending point of function. Okay, in between that, we are writing the statements of function. And finally, a function can return the value. Which type of value it is returning? That return type we write here. Return type we write. Okay. So this is the syntax to define a function. And generally, in the syntaxes, listen carefully. Because of you are new to the programming, I'm telling this point, listen carefully here. Whenever you are referring the books or websites, if author is writing the syntax, author you may use the square braces symbols, or author may use this angular bracket symbols. What is the meaning of square braces, sir? Square braces are there in the syntax means the meaning of this one is optional. When you are referring the books or websites, authors use these symbols in the syntaxes. So author is using square braces means understand that optional, not compulsory. Okay, so observe here. Here fact is having argument. Main is not having argument, observe. So arguments are not compulsory. Some functions may have arguments, some functions may not have arguments. So to indicate optional, we use the symbol square braces. So square braces means optional. So by if anyone is seeing this syntax, so they can understand that specifying argument list is not compulsory, optional. But whereas this function name, return type, these are compulsory. This opening braces, closing braces, these are compulsory. And here you can give this angular brackets. Angular brackets means the meaning of this one is any. Any valid function name you can give. You can give function name as add. You can give function name as fact. You can give function name as F1. You can give function name as NareshIT. Any valid name you can give. So that is the meaning of angular brackets. Angular brackets means any. So any return type you can write based on the requirement. Int, float, char, based on that function returning value, we write the return type. So any data type you can write, any function name you can give, any argument list you can specify. Specifying argument list is optional. These are compulsory. Brackets are also compulsory. These parentheses are also compulsory. This bracket is called parenthesis. Understand the terminology. Authors use parenthesis term. Parenthesis means these brackets. So curly braces means these brackets. Curly braces. Square braces means these brackets. These brackets we call as square braces. These brackets are curly braces. So these are called parentheses. Okay. So remember this, every time I will not explain. For the syntaxes, I use these symbols. Frequently, I use these symbols for the syntaxes. In the syntax only, I'm talking about syntax only. So in the syntaxes, if we are using square braces, means what is the meaning of that one? Optional, not compulsory. In the syntaxes, if we are using these angular brackets, means what is the meaning of that one? Any. So any argument list we can define, any function name you can give, any return type you can write. But specifying argument list is optional. So by following this syntax, we define a function. So like that, n number of functions you can define in a C program. And finally, in the last, we define what? Main. So now we are discussing about main now. Listen. So now you know that C program we write in the form of C program is written in the form of functions. This point you already know now. So we're writing in the form of functions means this style is called procedure oriented style. So C follows procedure oriented style. C program we write in the form of functions. So the important point here is to develop a C program, minimum one function is required. To develop a C program, minimum one function is required. To develop a C program, minimum one function is required. So that function name is main. That function name is main. So because of main is the function means use the symbol opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis. That's it. So our first chapter is C language basics. Our second chapter is operators. And our third chapter is control structures. So these three are called language fundamentals. We are learning a programming language means first we should learn these three things. So here you learn what are the data types, how to declare the variables. So how to assign the data means how to store the data, how to print the data, how to read the data, how can we perform operations, and how to use the control structures. Okay, so these are called language fundamentals. In these first three chapters, I define only one function. So in these first three chapters, I define only one function. What is that function? Main. Next, here you are learning the coding. These are called language fundamentals. In these three chapters, you learn coding. That coding we implement in the functions concept. This functions is a concept. So in C, first three chapters, C basics, operators, control structures, you learn coding. That coding we implement in the functions concept. So here, if you see this function, so if you see this fact function here, this is declaring. Okay, this is loop, control structure, for loop. To execute the statements repeatedly, we use for loop. This is control structure. This is declaration. This declaration you learn in C language basics. This loop you learn in control structures. This into you learn in operators. So these are the language basics. After learning that coding we are writing in the functions concept. Okay. So for first 3 chapters, we define only one function. What is that function? From 4th chapter onwards, from functions chapter onwards, we may define multiple functions. We may define multiple functions in the functions. From functions chapter onwards, we may define multiple functions. But in first 3 chapters, I define only one function. What is that one? Main. Remember this. Don't ask, sir, you're not writing many functions. You're not writing in the form of functions, sir. Don't ask like that. I write only one function. What is that one? Main. Okay. Next. What is this main actually? What is this main? See, just now I told that main opening parenthesis, closing parenthesis is there means what is that? Function. Function. Now listen carefully. I'm telling one important point here. Listen. In the functions, 2 types are there. There are 2 types of functions. There are 2 types of functions. One is built-in function. One is built-in function. And another one is user-defined function. User-defined function. So built-in function means you can understand like this is ready-made function. Ready-made function. So in simple terms, I'm telling ready-made. It is ready to use. Okay. Or some authors may use the term predefined. Predefined. Pre means already. Defined. Okay. Ready-made. It is ready to use. Predefined. Pre means already. Already defined. So already defined functions. So C language developers already defined some functions. So we are calling them as the built-in functions. Or you can say predefined function or library function or system defined function, the terminology later you learn. So as of now, understand that there are 2 types of functions. First one is built-in function. Second one is user-defined function. So what is built-in function, sir? So if a function code is defined by C language developer. So if function code is developed by C language developer. C language developer means Dennis Ritchie and his team. Okay. So if a function code is defined by C language developer, then it is called built-in, ready-made, built-in function. So user-defined function means if the code is defined by us, so we are the users of C language. So if a function code is defined by the user, we are the users of C language. Okay, then that is called user-defined function. So the names are giving the meanings here. User-defined means we are defining. Built-in, already they built, already they created. So to make our task easier, the C language developers already defined some functions. See, for example, to find square root value, you have no need to write your own logic. Ready-made function is there, SQL. You have no need to bother about logic here. Like that, to find the power value, we have no need to write the logic. Ready-made function is there. So like this, these are called built-in functions. To print the data, we use one built-in function. To read the data, we use some built-in function like this. These are the ready-made functions. So we are calling these functions as the built-in functions. So built-in function means who defined the function code here? C language developer. Okay. And user defined function means who defined the code here? User. We are the users. Okay. Now observe here. I am writing a basic program in the C language. Observe. See. Observe. Observe carefully here. Main. Starting point of main, ending point of main. For example, I want to find square root of 100. This is my requirement. I want to find square root of 100. This is my requirement. So to find the square root value, C language developer had written a function, SQRT function. So this is ready-made function. He defined some code, some statements to find the square root value. We are not writing this code. Who defined this function? C language developer. Dennis Ritchie and his team developed this SQRT function. And they placed this function in one particular header file. That header file name is math.h. So all mathematical related functions, they placed in math.h. Like SQRT function, later they defined POW function, they defined sine function, they defined cos function, tan function, ABS function, okay, log function, etc. All mathematical related functions, they placed in math.h. Okay. So who defined this function code here? C language developer. So that's why I'm calling this as built-in. Already it is built. Or you can say predefined function, built-in function or predefined function. That function I'm calling here SQRT of 100. So understand the terminology. This is called function call. From the main, we call other functions. So what we are doing, sir, we are calling this SQRT function. So execution goes to this SQRT function. This 100 input will be given to this SQRT function. So 100 input it is taking. So with this code, it is finding square root of 100. That square root of 100 result, it is returning. And it is giving to this function call. This function call value is 10.0. Okay. So to find square root value, are we writing our own logic here in this program? No. Who had written that logic to find square root value? C language developer had written that logic we are using by calling. Okay. So that value, that returned value, I'm holding in some variable. Okay, in the variable K, I'm holding it. So this is double tap. Don't bother about the coding. Later you learn. Okay, understand about what is built-in function, what is user-defined function. This is our intention. We are not learning what is double. Okay, so we are not learning declaration now. We are not learning printing. We are not learning percentage LF now. Okay, so like this we write. Next, above all, this printf function available in stdio header file. So I'm writing like this. And this SQRT function available in math header file. So I'm writing like this. Don't bother about coding. Slowly you'll learn everything. Just understand the concept here. Okay. So In this program, here we are calling SQRT function to find the square root value. Here we are calling printf function to print the data. This SQRT is called built-in function. This printf is called built-in function because we didn't define this SQRT function code. We didn't define this printf function code. Okay. So C language developer. One more time I'm explaining. Listen. C language developer had written SQRT function. He had written some code to find the square root value. Because of this is mathematical related function, he placed mathematical related functions in one particular file. That is math.h file. This C language developer defined this printf function. And he had defined some code in this printf function. And he placed this function in one particular file. That file name is stdio.h. So input output related functions. stdio stands for standard input output. Input output related functions they placed in stdio header file. Mathematical related functions they placed in math.h header file. So who defined these functions are C language developer. This is ready-made function. This is ready-made function. Who defined this code? C language developer. Who defined this printf function code? C language developer. Dennis Ritchie and his team developed SQRT function. Dennis Ritchie and his team developed this printf function. Okay. So here to find the square root value, this is our program. So in our program to find square root value, are we writing any logic here? No. We are not writing logic. Just we are calling the ready-made function. SQRT function is ready. We are calling. And we are passing one input. 100 input we are passing. So with this code, it is finding square root of 100. That square root of 100 value, it is returning. So this function call value is 10.0 that will be stored in the K. So now K value is 10.0. On output screen, I want to print that 10.0. So to print the data, I'm calling one more function, printf function. Printf function will be called, this printf function code prints data on screen. It prints 10.0 on screen. So printf function duty is printing data on screen. SQRT function duty is finding square root value. So function general meaning is action, task. Every function is performing particular action. Every function is performing particular task. SQRT function is calculating square root. Printf function is printing the data. Like this, every function performs particular action. SQRT function action is finding square root value. Printf function action is printing data on screen. Like this, to make our actions easier, C language developer already defined some code. They already defined some functions. If SQRT function is not there, here we have to write SQRT function 10 lines code. Here we have to write 10 lines code. If printf function is not there, that printf function, for example, assume that for in the printf function, 15 lines code is there. 15 lines code we have to write. So code length will be increased here if functions are not there. Because of these functions, so because of SQRT function is available, are we writing 10 lines code here? No. Just we are calling and using. Ready to use. So to print the data, are we writing 15 lines code here? No. Printf function is ready. We are calling. And we are using that. So the point to understand here is, in this example, what is SQRT, sir? SQRT is a built-in function. To find square root value, we use it. So every function performs task. So SQRT is a built-in function here. It finds square root value. So SQRT function finds square root value. So to find the square root value, we are using this printf is a built-in function. Printf is a built-in function. Built-in function. So it finds, so it prints. It is used to print the data. So it prints data. Where it prints, sir? It prints data on output screen. An output screen. This output screen can be also called as console screen. So on console screen, it prints the data. Observe here. I'm pressing F11. I'm saving it with the name demo.c. Observe now. See here. What it is printing here? Observe. 10.0 it is printing. So who is print this screen is called console screen, or you can say output screen. This is output screen. This is output screen, or you can say console screen. So to print data on console screen, which function we are using? Printf. To find the square root value, which function we are using? SQRT. So to find square root value, we are not writing any logic. Okay, so SQRT built-in function, printf built-in function. C language developers define already this code. Now, in the same way, what is this main, sir? Main is a function. Main is a function. Now you tell me, is main built-in function or user-defined function? Is main built-in function or user-defined function? Is main built-in function or user-defined function? Listen. Listen carefully. This main is the user-defined function. Remember this. Main is the user-defined function. Observe here. This is main function or not? Is the main function. Who is defining this code? Observe. Who is writing this code? We are the users of C language. We are defining the code or not? If we are defining the code, is it user-defined or built-in? User-defined. So we are defining this code. In the SQRT function, are we defining any code in the SQRT function? No, ready-made. Okay, printf function code already defined, ready-made. So these functions defined by C language developer. So those are called built-in functions. So this main is also a function. Who is defining this main function? We are defining. So if we are defining the code, that is called what? User-defined. So if anyone is asking, what is the purpose of SQRT function? So finding square root value. Okay, if anyone is asking, what is the purpose of main means? You cannot say because in this code is not there. We are defining the code. So inside of this main, we are writing the code. This is the user defined code. We are defining the code inside of main. So that's why main is called user defined function. Remember this. So if anyone is asking what is main means, so tell this is user defined function. Main is a function. Main is a user defined function. So we must have grip on this topic. So in C language, we are calling function. In Java, we call the same concept as the method. So in C language, we call function. In Java, same concept we call as the method. If you know functions, you know methods. Again, you have no need to put much efforts when you are learning Java methods. So in the functions, how many types are there? 2 types. What are those? Built-in function, user-defined function. Built-in function means who defined the code here? C language developer. What are the examples? SQRT function, POW function, printf function, scanf function, etc. User defined function means who defines the code? We define the code. We define the code. Okay. So I am defining my own code in one function. Function name I am giving as withdraw. Withdraw function I am defining to perform withdraw operation. I'm defining my own function fact to find factorial value. I'm defining my own function. I'm giving function name as F1. I'm giving function name as Ramu. I'm giving function name as Naresh IT. These are our own functions, user defined functions. SQRT function, POW, printf, scanf, these are the built-in functions. These are defined by C language developers. These are defined by the users. We are the users of C language. So what is main? Is it built-in function or user-defined function? It is user-defined function. We are defining code inside of main. This is not ready-made code. We are defining this code. Okay. So main is a user-defined function. So you can say one more point I'm telling. This main is entry point of the program. You can say main as the entry point. So main is entry point. This main is entry point of the program. So main is entry point of the program. So every C program execution starts from main only. Every C program execution starts from main only. So every C program execution starts from main only. That's why we are calling this as the entry point. I already told C program we write in the form of functions. For example, assume that one C program is having 10 functions. One C program is having 10 functions. After that, after defining those 10 functions, we are defining main. Now, in this C program, total 11 functions are there. So now, from where that program execution has to be started, from function 1 or function 2 or function 3. So C compiler may get confused. So that's why what we are defining main. Main we are defining. So main means with this main, compiler understands that program execution should be started from here. C program we write in the form of functions. In this program, 11 functions are there. In the 11 functions, program execution has to be started from where? From function 1 or function 2 or function 3. So compiler may get confused. So that's why we are defining main here. Main. So always program execution starts from main only. This is the entry point of the execution. Always execution starts from main only. Just like to enter into home. So assume that this is one home. To enter into this home, one main entrance gate is there. If anyone wants to enter into home, he is entering through the main gate. Okay, in the same way, just like for the building or for the home, main entrance door is there. For the building, main entrance gate is there. For the home, main entrance door is there. There is the entry point to enter into the home. In the same way, in the program execution also, to start the program execution, this main is the entry point. From main only, program execution will be started. So I already told that to develop a C program, minimum one function is required. This point I already told. One more time I'm writing. So to develop a C program, minimum one function is required. One function is required. That function is main function. So this main is the entry point of the program. Every program execution starts from main only. Okay. So these are the important points regarding main. See. And every function name, C language is the case sensitive language. We must write function names in lowercase only. This main, can we write main in uppercase or no? If you write like this, it is giving error. Observe here. It is giving error. Undefined reference to main, it is select. Okay. So it is giving error here. Can we write main in capital letters? No. So can we write main in mixed letters? Starting letter capital, remaining small. Can we write like this? No. It is giving error. Same error. So always we must write main in lower case only. Function names we write in lower case only. SQRT function, lower case. Printf function, lower case. C language is case sensitive language. We write keywords in lower case. We write keywords in lower case. Function names in lower case. So C language is the case sensitive language. It treats uppercase and lowercase as different. So we must write this main in lowercase only. So this main can take two arguments. One is integer type, another one is character pointer array type, and main can also return the value. Okay, those points later in the command line arguments, I cover that. As of now, this much knowledge is enough. So what is main means? Main is a function. It is a user-defined function, and it is entry point of the program. Every program execution starts from main only. These 2 points we have to remember. If anyone is asking what is main means, first point we have to tell is function. What is main means? Function. So it is telling the entry point of the program. So every program execution starts from main only. So main is entry point of the program. Even if the program is having 10 functions or 100 functions or 1 lakh functions, every C program execution starts from main only. Okay. Next. So this is about main. So now you know very clearly about the main. So in today's session, what we discussed, I'm giving overview here. Observe. So we started our discussion with structure of C program. So we write C program in procedure oriented style. So procedure oriented style means this is one programming style. We write program in the form of functions. We write program in the form of functions. So function 1, function 2, like this n number of functions you can define. Finally, we define main. Call other functions from the main. So why we are calling other functions from the main? Because it is entry point. If you don't call from main, that never get executed. A function must be called directly or indirectly from the main only, because main is entry point. So program execution starts from here. So that's why from the main only we are calling other functions. So C program we write in the form of functions. This style is called procedure oriented style. To develop a C program, minimum 1 function is required. That is what main. This main is 1 function. We are defining code in it. So this is called user defined function. And you can say this is the entry point of the program. Every program execution starts from main only. Okay. So to develop first program in the C, we should have knowledge on C library, and we should know how to print the data. Okay, so these things we have to learn. These things we have to learn to write the first program. So in the next session, we discuss what is C library. After that, we discuss what is printf. Then we write first program in the C language. Okay, I'm stopping the session here. Those who are new to the session, please listen carefully here. Listen. Those who are new to the session, listen carefully. One important announcement. Just a minute, please wait. See. So today's session is the fourth session. In the first session, just we discuss syllabus. Just in the first session, I covered syllabus. In the second session, we discussed what is hardware and what is software. And in the third session, we discussed what is the purpose of C language. C language purpose we discussed. So if anyone missed these classes, or if anyone didn't understand these classes, I already provided notes link. This is the notes link. So open the browser like Google Chrome. There in the address bar, type this notes link. So for online students, I'm sending in the chat box. Okay, in the chat box, notes link is there. So just to open the Google Chrome, in the Google Chrome address bar, just type like this, bit.ly/Shiva C9am. Just write like this. So the Google Chrome address bar, just type like this, bit.ly/Shiva C9am. So if you are not getting like this, type this one also, http:// also type. So if you write like this, you will get one file. So that file contains all previous sessions notes. So if it is not opening this link, type https:/ also. So in this link, notes file is there. Every day, only one file will be there. Every day, this file will be overwritten. So this is the temporary link only. After completion of your batch registration process, we create one Google Classroom. In the Google Classroom only, I upload the notes. For temporary reference purpose, I'm providing this link. This link is temporary. So after 1 week, we create one Google Classroom. So after 1 week, I will not upload notes in this. This is temporary link only. So in this notes, after opening this link, observe here, after opening this link, see, I'm clicking on that link. See, in the Google Chrome, so it is opening one file here, observe. So this is your batch file. Open that file. In that, so here video links will be there. First session video link, second session video link. Just click on that link or copy this link in the address bar. In the Google Chrome address bar, copy this link. So it opens YouTube video. You can refer that one. So all previous 3 sessions videos I will provide here. Regarding course details or fee details, if you have any doubts, please contact to this admin number. Admin number is also available in the front page of notes. In the front page of notes, previous sessions video links are there, and your admin number is also there. Okay, so I'm stopping the session here. Thank you, everyone. See you tomorrow. Hmm? చెక్ చేసుకోండి ఉంది. ఓకే. Online students, if you have any doubts, please type in the chat box. Otherwise, you can leave the session. Session is over. If you have any doubts, please type in the chat box. Otherwise, you can leave the session. Regarding subject, if you have any doubts, please ask. Regarding course, if you have any doubts, please contact to the admin. This is the admin number. Send the message to admin. Prabhas, when you are asking a doubt, first apply your brain. When you are asking a doubt, before that, apply your brain. What is the purpose of main? First understand it. Main means that is entry point. Program execution starts from main. If main is not there, how your program will execute? Okay. And the doubts which you can clarify on your own, please don't ask those doubts. Okay. So this doubt you can clarify on your own. Instead of writing main, write int here. What is happening? Understand here. Can't you understand on your own? The doubts which you cannot understand on your own, please ask them. Prabhas, you try it today. What is happening? Instead of writing main, if you are writing int char, what is happening? Understand it and you tell me tomorrow what is happening. Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'm leaving the session.